Born in 1999 to parents Bill and Cherie, Matt Wolff was born in Simi Valley, California, before moving to Agora Hills. He was born into a Jewish family and was introduced to golf when attended a junior kids summer sports camp. Matt was naturally gifted at most sports. His powerful athletic physique made him a great soccer player and an even better baseballer. Combining his natural baseball feels and strong soccer tree trunk legs, Wolff had created the building blocks for something special. He continued playing multiple sports up until he started high school. He attended Westlake High School, and just across the road was Westlake Golf Course. At age 13, Wolff still didn't have a permanent golf coach. In his eyes, he'd created something unique with his swing, and didn't want anyone to change it, just improve it. His friends would pester him to go check out the guy at Westlake. He was the best around, and they were all going to see him. But Matt was apprehensive about trying a new coach, as so many had tried to get him back on playing and change his swing completely. So one day after school, Wolff headed down to the Westlake golf course, tapped the coach on the shoulder and said, "Are you George Gankus?" The two discussed what they both wanted, and George went back to coaching. Wolff began hitting balls on the bay next to him, and Gigi turned round to him and said, "Are you for real? Do you actually hit balls like that?" Thinking the worst, Wolff thought this was going to be the same as every other coach he'd approached. But Gankus was different. He was shocked at first, but loved it at the same time. He loved the old style swings and was fascinated at just how well Wolff hit the ball. During his sophomore year at high school, Matt broke his collarbone. When returning to golf, Gigi had noticed that his shoulder was extremely closed now at impact. The injury had affected his swing, but Gankus had a solution. He had Matt have a trigger point at the start of his swing to over-exaggerate getting his body open. And this is where the famous trigger point came from. The two's relationship was like father and son. The similar childish personalities made it so much easier to coach. They made it fun and were always having a laugh. Wolff trusts everything in George and would never change coach because he's the only one who truly understands his swing. Through high school, Matt would only play golf. He'd finish school and go to hit 4 to 5 buckets of balls every day. Now if you want to feel old, Matt looked up to Rory McIlroy and Ricky Fowler as his idols, as they were the top players whilst he was growing up. When it came to choosing a college, Matt had originally chose to go to the University of Southern California, but after visiting OSU, he could see the rich history and the people who had came through the college and made it to the PGA Tour. OSU has one of the best coaches in the country and some of the best facilities on offer. Ricky Fowler stayed loyal and local to his college and remains very much a personality on campus. He took Matt under his wing and Wolff was all ears, willing to learn. In his first year, he was the runner-up at the Junior US Amateur and continued that form with another 4 runner-up finishes. He was given first team All-American honours and won the Phil Mickelson Award as the nation's top freshman. Through his career and started to become better known, Matt was getting a lot of criticism about his swing, saying if he's serious about making it on tour, he needs to change his swing. Coaches would call him up saying, "If you just give me this amount of time, I'll make you twice the player." But Matt knew what he'd created was good, and he didn't want anyone messing with his feels. In 2018, Wolff sank the winning putt to clinch the NCAA Division I championship for the Oklahoma State, and also won his first stroke play titles at the Carmel Cup, OFCC Invitational, and topped the college rankings. Wolff was a force to be reckoned with in college. With friend Hovey on his team, there was no way they wasn't going to win anything. The question was though, would he be able to handle the step up? Thanks to his college form, Matt managed to get a sponsor exemption into the Waste Management Phoenix Open. He managed the cut and finished a respectable 3 under par, tied 50th, proving he had what it takes. That weekend was even more motivating for him as idol and mentor Ricky Fowler won the title. It was the start of a new era when he left college and turned pro in 2019. He and the boys were now let loose among the field and were ready for world domination. Wolff kickstarted his career at the Travelers Championship. He didn't get off to the greatest starts though, not making the cut, but it was understandable in really tough conditions. But fast forward 2 more events and things were looking very different. On July 7th, 2019, Wolff earned his first PGA Tour victory at the 3M Open at TPC Twin Cities in Blaine, Minnesota. In his final round, he shot 6 under par to edge out Colin Morikawa and Bryson DeChambeau. The tournament went to the final green. DeChambeau was playing one group ahead of Morikawa and Wolff. He made an eagle on the par 5 18th hole to leapfrog them both and take a 1-stroke lead. Wolff then hit his approach shot onto the green 26 feet from the hole. Walking down the last, Colin and Matt had a very surreal moment. They looked at each other and just said, "Whatever happens, just know this is the start of many for us both." Wolff made the putt for eagle to retake the lead, and when Morikawa failed to make his putt to tie, The victory belonged to Wolff. The victory gave Wolff a 2-year PGA Tour exemption and a nice payday of $1.1 million in prize money. Wolff was the first player since Billy Hurley III in 2016 to win after receiving a sponsor exemption. He was also only the third player to win the NCAA title and an PGA Tour event in the same calendar year, joining Tiger Woods and Ben Crenshaw. Wolff had got off to the start of dreams and began to ride the wave of momentum. In August 2020, Wolff finished in a tie for 4th place at the PGA Championship, his first major championship appearance. 6 weeks later in September, he led the US Open at Winged Foot by 2 strokes, heading into the final day after returning a 3rd round score of 65, the joint lowest round of the tournament. A final round of 75, 5 over par, saw him finish as runner-up, 6 strokes behind winner Bryson DeChambeau. This was his second top 5 finish from his first 2 major championships, earning him $1.3 million. He finished the 2020 season ranked 15th in the world, one of the biggest leaps in world ranking points history. Matt got the ball rolling for the new era. That early win kick-started Hovland's and Morikawa's career, but Matt's took a little pause. Don't get me wrong, he's still finished really well with 2 top 10s and 1 runner-up from 6 events this season, and already netted $7 million in career earnings. But he's almost been shoved aside by his counterparts. But Matt has made himself heard. People think, that's it, you've won your first event, you're good now. But he was in his 3rd professional event as a pro. He still isn't used to the schedule, the pro-ams, and playing a new course every week. That win might have just been too early. But now he's found his feet, and after showing Colin and Vic the road to start with, they're now showing him what can be achieved. He's 22 and still very much a kid. Most people go a whole career without a PGA Tour win, and he's already got his already in the bag. He's 30th in the world rankings and really seems to be swinging it well. It's already been a huge year for 2 of the 3 amigos, and we're all expecting Matt to bounce back this year.